This is elimination using addition and subtraction. You might want to have your book open to 353 because I will go over homework tips at the end of this. Make sure to do annotations and make sure to take the Edmodo quiz. So you can read these things through. You can add systems of equations together. You make so they have aligned coefficients and they need to be opposites. Sometimes you need to change the sign of all terms when that happens. And you add them together. Of course, remember to write your answer as an ordered pair. And you can check your answer by substituting in to both equations. So let's look at the first one. Here's my system. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write them so that they are lined up. So I'm going to move this. So that's the first thing I did, was I wrote them so that they're lined up. X terms, Y terms, equal signs, everything needs to be the same. The other thing is you want to make sure that you know that this is a negative 5y. I'm just going to add everything. So negative 4, positive 4 is 0. So I've eliminated the x's. Positive 3, negative 5, so that's negative 2y. Negative 3, positive 5 is 2. So when you add those together, the x's are eliminated. So now I can solve for y. Once you do that, you can put y into either of the original equations. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to use this one since it's right here to solve for x. So I have 4x plus negative 5, negative 1 equals 5. So I put negative 1 in here for y. So 4x is equal to 0. X is equal to 0. So 0, negative 1. So of course you write your answer as an ordered pair. You can take these answers and you can check to see if it's correct by plugging it into both equations. So here's my original equation. And so if I were to put 0 in here for x and negative 1 in here for y, it should be true. So negative 4 times 0 is 0. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. And so it does work. So you can always check your answers to see if they're correct. But make sure you substitute them into both equations. Check them in both equations. Let's look at number 2. So I'm looking at these, and I'm going to write it over here. And I need to move this, but the order is different. That's okay, I just need to make sure to keep the sign. So this is negative 4y plus 3x equals 14. So all I did is reverse the order. If it helps you to do addition of the opposite, so you understand this is a negative 4y, then I'm just moving it to in front of that. It's fine. Now you can add them together. The y's eliminate, positive 4 and negative 4. 6x is equal to 36. So x is 6. Once you get that, you can substitute x into any of the original ones. Doesn't matter, I'll just use the top one. So that's 4y plus 3 times 6 equals 22. And then you solve for x. Remember, this is another way of solving the same problems we did with substitution, the same ones we did with graphing. This is where the lines would cross. I'm finding the point where they would cross. And elimination is just another way to do it. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's not. So I write my answer as an ordered pair. I can check this by putting x and y into both of the original equations and seeing if it's true. If it is, I most likely got that correct. Okay, I'm going to try one more, because this one involves a little more rearranging. So make sure you do some annotations on this one. So I'm looking at this for number 3, and I have my x on the left, y on the right. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure that I get things kind of used to where I like them, I'm going to put my x and my y's on the same side. So here I have 2x plus 5y. It was a negative 5y, but when I change it to the other side of the equal sign, I make it a positive. And then 6 is still over here. So on this one I have negative 2x, so I'm going to move it over to the other side, so I make it a positive 2x. Equals 22. So sometimes you need to rearrange first. Now I'm just going to drop this down. Okay, so looking at this, I do not have opposite coefficients. I have the same. So in order to solve that, you need to change the sign. Make sure you remember this. Change the sign of all the terms for one equation. So I'm going to make this a negative, this a negative, and this a negative. Change the sign of everything. Then you can solve. So the x's now eliminate, so y is equal to 4. Of course, once you know that, substitute it in, 2x plus 5, so 2x plus 20 is equal to 6, minus 20, then write your answer as an ordered pair. So we've solved these before. Make sure you have annotations. If you're looking at page 353 for the homework, for some homework help, I would say on numbers 1, 3, and 4, you're going to need to change the sign like I did here of every term. So if you're looking at the homework 1, 3, and 4, those are ones where you need to do that. Numbers 5 and 6 are the word problems, so try to come up with 2 equations and then work to see if you can solve those. Make sure you take the Edmodo quiz, make sure you have annotations on your notes, and bring those to class.